Hey guys, so there a while back I mentioned that I was going to do a video about my gear and stuff like that. There were a number of times now I was asked about my gear, whether it was through email or, direct messaging or whatever the case may be. I do get asked that quite a bit, so I figured I might as well do a video. So with that said, before I get started, I want to make it very clear this is not like any brand promotion or anything like that. What gear I got here, I purchased with my own money. I did my own research and all this sort of thing, and came to the conclusion I did and bought what I did because I figured that was the best choice. So here's the thing: a lot of gear that I have now, I bought new when I started my YouTube channel. I had some gear prior to that. When I started the YouTube channel, I guess I looked at it as more of an investment. So like when I was doing my research on the gear, there's a couple of main things I look at. Number one is durability, and the second thing is lightweight. So as should be obvious, when it comes to durability, if you're going to be using tools a lot, then you want something that's going to last you a while. You're not going to look and replace it every month or every couple of weeks or whatever the case may be, right? So that was one of the major factors in deciding on what gear I bought. The second major factor for me was lightweight. Everywhere I go in the woods I walk. I don't have a quad or skidoo or anything like that. So with so much gear, especially doing overnighters and of course camera gear, all this sort of thing, all these things of course add up in weight. So all right, so with all that said, let's get started looking at some gear here. First and foremost, my knife. This is the Mora Garberg. When I decided on a knife, I didn't want something too big and I didn't want something small. I wanted something that was like mid-size, and I was going to be able to use it for a lot of different tasks rather than have to carry a lot of different knives and that, right? Split wood with this. I use it of course for preparing food, that sort of thing. It's not a budget knife. Mora does have some really good budget knives as well, like I think around 20 bucks or something like that, 30 bucks. This one's a little bit more, but again, like I said, I want something that was going to last me a long time, and I wasn't going to worry about breaking anything like that, right? So this is definitely one tough knife, and every trip I make in the woods, this one is strapped to my side no matter what I'm doing. Next is my axe. Now, if you follow along the earlier videos, I had a shorter axe. It was a good little axe, and it was good enough for me, and like I said, it was light and all this sort of thing. But and I still actually prefer it for like rabbit snaring and stuff like that. But I did need a little bit extra weight for like chopping wood and stuff. So I bought this one. And this is a Grand Force Brooks, and again, there's when it comes to axes, there's a lot of choice out there, of course, but I decided on this one mainly because of it's handmade, and I have a lot of appreciation, of course, for like handmade tools and this sort of thing. So, but this axe, like I said, it gives me a little bit added weight, but not that much more weight that is going to be a lot harder to carry and that sort of thing, right? And of course I can use this one two-handed, so makes things a whole lot easier. The next thing on my list that I have here is my saws. I usually have two with me. Of course, if you watch my videos, this is the one you see most. This is my Boreal 21 from Agua Canyon. And of course there's a folding saw, which is, of course, if you're backpacking, this sort of thing is, is crucial, and it's tough, light, and it's a really good saw. There may be better ones out there, such as like Selk, really good saws, but this is the one I chose. And of course this one here, my Bajo Laplander. So as you know, I usually use my Boreal 21 when it comes to like gathering firewood, that sort of thing. Obviously, it makes quick work, junking up some fair-sized trees. So, this one most of the time is with me. And maybe the only time I don't take it is in the summertime when fire season, that sort of thing is on. Then I really have no reason to take it. But with that said, my backhoe Laplander is usually in my backpack. I say 99% of the time, right? If I'm ever in a jam, that sort of thing, or it's always come in handy, right? But that's a good little folding saw, and really sharp. And of course, it's only mainly for like smaller wood, that sort of thing. But in a survival situation, of course, it can really help you out as well. Next is a tarp. This one's AquaQuest tarp. Obviously there's a lot of tarps out there you can buy, and for the most part, some of them are okay. I bought a cheap one. I believe it was like $10 that I used for like a ground sheet in my lavoo and stuff like that. I mainly carry this one just for sitting up a shelter, blocking wind, that sort of thing, or if I'm going trouting and there may be a chance for rain, that sort of thing, rather than leave, I can set up this tarp and keep out of the weather. Again, I chose this tarp primarily because it's light, it's really durable, and of course it's waterproof, right? These tarps are a little bit more expensive, but again, it's one of those things that you get what you pay for, right? Of course, if I got my tarp, I'm going to need some paracord, and I always keep some paracord in my backpack anyway. For shelters, for setting up that tarp, and that usually 25 feet. And then I got like another piece that, like, if I want to cut some off, I will. But I always keep the 25-foot one for my tarp. First aid. If I'm going to be completely honest there, for a lot of years I never carried anything at all, not so much as a band-aid or anything in the woods. I say it's maybe only in the past 10 years or so that I get some first aid items in my backpack. It's just something I always took for granted, I guess. A couple close calls a few times with the axe, and it got me thinking, maybe it's about time to start carrying a few things just in case, right? So with that said, I usually carry one of these emergency blankets, Sole. These are really good. They're really lightweight, and especially here in Newfoundland in the winter time, or even the fall of the year, for that matter. Yeah, it's something that could definitely save your life. Regards to the extra weight that it adds to your backpack, it's little to none. So there's really no reason not to have something like this in your backpack. I've never used this yet. Still sealed, but let's hope I don't have to use it. But if I do, I got it. So along with that is my Coghlan's first aid kit. I suppose that's how you pronounce it. That's how I always did anyway. But this is your standard first aid kit. There's actually band-aids, gauzes, mole patches, a needle, that sort of thing. That one is always in my backpack as well. Like I said, it's not something that I used to always carry, but in recent years, definitely came in handy. So the funny thing is, I think I've cut myself more since I started carrying this in my backpack. So I don't know. Maybe I should start leaving it home or something. I don't know, but maybe it's just one of those things, I guess. So of course, if you see my videos, you see me take out this one a lot, and this is just a little organizer. I have a lot of different things in there, mostly smaller things. And I bought this organizer because of smaller things, I don't want to lose anything, or so it just makes things a whole lot easier to me, digging through your backpack looking for tiny little objects and that sort of thing. So when it comes to like water, sometimes I do carry some with me, but very little. Again, I'm usually walking everywhere I go, so the less I can carry on me, the better. With that said, obviously, drinking water is crucial. So, like, for the most part here in Newfoundland, like, drinking water is not an issue. Depending on the time of the year, if it's a really dry summer or something like that, it's hard to be careful sometimes. But I do carry this water purifier with me, and it's a Katadyn Be-Free. I also have a Sawyer Squeeze. I like that one better sometimes, But this one's just a whole lot easier. You know, it's easier to fill up. It takes up you know, very little room, and you know, you can just shove it in your pocket if you had to, right? Again, don't always use it, but you know, it's I guess you could say situational. And of course, if you're boiling the water, it doesn't really matter anyway, I guess. So, cooking and boiling water. My little billy tin, or billy pot, or whatever you want to call it, forgets the brand name of this one, and as you can tell, this one gets a lot of use. I do have a kettle as well. I usually take this one, and I know you've heard me say in videos that with my kettle, I've like capsized that a number of times and wasted water, that sort of thing. There's nothing worse. So this one here has a locking lid. A couple little hinges right here, just flip over, and when that handle snaps up, kind of locks the cover in place. Now I've tipped that over numerous times, and of course, you know, if you got water in there, you know, a little bit's going to come out, but for the most part, not usually an issue. I don't always take this one with me. I just leave it out. Yeah, that's my pot, and like I said, I use that for cooking, boiling water. That one's with me, I say 90% of the time as well. So guys, this you know, that's the majority of things, you know, other than obviously my camera gear, that sort of thing. These things are usually with me, you know, all the time, right? With that said, you know, there's backpacks, of course, too, depending on what I'm doing. Of course, you know, you see me rabbit snaring, I usually just take that one. You know, if I'm just going up for a few hours or something like that, the smaller backpack usually is good enough, right? And of course, then I got this one here. This is my Savoda backpack, and that's the one I use most often, especially like for overnighters, this sort of thing. Again, those are not cheap, but they're tough, and it's going to last a long time, right? So guys, that's it. That's I guess my main gear, like I said, and I hope that answers your questions. Of course, if you got any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer it for you. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.